Welcome to TT's Urban Pantry. I am canning okra soup, question mark. um, from the request of Gigi's Naturals Homestead, Her Healthy Home, and Micro Farmer. They asked if I had a recipe for canning okra soup, and I said no, but I would find it. So I didn't find a recipe for canning okra soup, but I know that you can can tomatoes, you can can okra, you can can other stuff. So I'm treating this as if it is a combination recipe. The kicker is I don't like okra, and I've never had okra soup. So I don't know what it's supposed to be like. I asked my husband if he has ever had it, and he said no. But he is willing to try it. He loves okra. So anytime I make okra, it's for him. So I did find the okra soup online, and it was tomato based. So Micro Farmer, Her Healthy Home, Gigi's Natural Homestead. Let me know if this is the right okra soup, or if I need to add something, or if I'm not supposed to have something in here. But I have 2 onions and a whole head of garlic. I chopped that up really fine and sauteed that and let it caramelize. And then I have in 3 quarts of vegetable stock. The recipe called for chicken stock, but I don't have any chicken stock that I had canned. And a while ago, I had got some store-bought vegetable broth, and I did not like it. So I really didn't want to risk this with store-bought chicken broth. So what I used was some vegetable broth that I had canned and some chicken bouillon. So I used 3 quarts of the vegetable broth that I had canned, which equaled about 12 cups. And then I have in 2 pounds of okra that I washed and diced up to about 1 inch thick. And then I have in 2 quarts of tomatoes that I had canned, diced tomatoes. And I also put in about half of this can of tomato paste, just to kind of thicken it up a little bit. And I also put in a sprinkle of tomato powder, tomato flakes, which is dehydrated tomato skins that I crushed up. And I also seasoned with salt, pepper. The recipe said thyme, so I put a little thyme in it. It also said bay leaves, so I have 2 bay leaves in there. And I ended up putting a little bit more garlic powder in it. I did taste the broth, and it's good. It tastes like a tomato-based broth. So Mister isn't even here to try it. Dang on shame. But I have some shrimp that I told him, you know, I would make him a bowl tonight, and I would cut up some shrimp and put it in his for him, because the recipe said bacon, and I was like, I'm not putting bacon in it. So I have here this shrimp, and I think I've shown it to you before. This is Argentinian red shrimp. And it says succulent, buttery lobster taste and texture. And it's raw, and it's been deveined, and the tails are all off of it and everything. So I'll rinse those off, and I'll put that in his, and I might make him a little bit of rice so he can put over it. When he does get home, I will show you his plate. But I'm going to go ahead and can this up while we're waiting. This is a pressure canner recipe. And for a pint, which I'm going to can it in all pint-sized jars because that's perfect for him. For a pint, it needs to pressure can for 25 minutes. And for a quart, it needs to pressure can for 40 minutes. And the broth is really good. It's almost like a tomato soup. I really like it. I'm going to take these bay leaves out. There's one more in there somewhere. But yeah, I just treated this as if it was a combination recipe. And then with the combination recipe, you need to can to whichever ingredient has the longest canning time. So I had to look all that up. I looked at the tomatoes. I looked at the okra. The recipe also said celery, but we didn't have any, and he didn't grab any at the store, so there's no celery in here. I don't know if celery goes in it or not. But I think it was the okra that you had to can for 25 minutes, because tomatoes, I did all this a while ago, but I believe tomatoes was like 20 minutes for a pint. Either way, I did all my research beforehand. I just don't remember what is what. But this has been boiling for about 10 minutes. And it actually looks good. I made him tomatoes and okra, which is almost the same thing. It just didn't have all the broth in it. It was just more condensed, and he really liked that. So this is basically the same thing. It's just soup. So I will bring you back as I am canning it. I'm going to pull out the pressure canner and get the pint jars out the oven. So Mr. approved of the soup. I don't know if I'm going to cut that part out or not, because there was a lot of background noise. He said the base was great. It had a lot of good flavors. The only thing was the okra wasn't done enough. And I did explain to him that with the canning for 25 minutes. We don't want to cook it here and then it cans for 25 minutes and it's super mushy. So I'm going to, after it boiled for about 5 minutes, I am going to stop it and start the canning process. I do have a pot set aside for him though, and once that okra is done, I'm going to add the shrimp and stuff, so I'll show you all. I don't know how much this is going to can up, so I have 12 quarts here, or I'm sorry, 12 pints here, and I probably took out 2 or 3 pints for his pot. Now that I'm looking at it, this is not going to take all 12. I am going to do this to an inch headspace. Probably come in a little low. That way after I debubble, I can top everything off. So that's what we are going to do. I can tell we're not going to use all 12, which Mr. is not going to be happy, because I know he is going to want some. And then just like with the tomatoes and okra, when you're making some more. Good thing is he bought way more okra than I needed for this, so I only used the 2 pounds. And I have about another 1.5 pounds set aside over there. That way I can make him his tomatoes and okra probably tomorrow. So he is going to have okra soup and then tomatoes and okra. And like I said, neither one of us have ever had okra soup, so we have no idea what it should be. This is just the recipe that I pulled up online, but as you know, there can be plenty of variations. So let me know how you make yours, or if there's another video that you can refer me to, and I can watch their video and see how they do it and try that out as well. But we are first timers to this, so okra soup is new to me. And I think this is probably going to be the last of it, because I don't want all juice in one and no okra and all that. So I'm going to try to top these off with the last of the okra. make sure it gets in everything. I don't know, I think maybe some green pepper would have been good in this as well. So that looks like it's all the okra that's in here. I'm not pitching this broth. I'm going to add this to what Mr. is having for dinner. And then I also have some more okra, so if he wants to add that to his, he can. Okay, so that's all the okra. We're going to debubble and check our headspace for an inch. I'm not sure if you can see what I'm doing. Just sit that there so it's out the way. So I've debubbled everything. Now we want an inch headspace. That one's over. All right, so I was able to get 7 pints in the pressure canner. It is just starting to vent right now, so I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. If it wants to work. So it's venting. It's going to vent for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to put my weight on it. Once it starts rocking, I am going to set the timer for 25 minutes. At the end of that 25 minutes, it will be done. So I'm going to turn it off, move it off of that hot eye to the cool eye, and then once it's completely depressurized, meaning that this little nipple thing has gone back down, and when I take this off, no steam comes out, we can open it up. When you open it up, just kind of set the lid ajar. Don't take the lid completely off, because your hot contents in there are just now exposed to the cooler air, so that could also cause siphoning. So set it a little bit ajar for about 5-10 minutes, and then take your stuff out. I have Mr.'s plate here, and it's not going to be as pretty as Pit Stop Kitchen and Garden. You guys check them out, they're great, but this is what I can do. So I have a bed of rice here, and then the okra soup and some shrimp for Mr. He approved of it. He really likes it. He likes it with the shrimp. He asked where the rest of the shrimp was, and I said, I'm not eating that, so I'm just going to saute me up some shrimp and maybe go get some Creole sauce or something. So he didn't get all the shrimp he wanted. But the rest of the shrimp is mine. But that is it. That is okra soup for today, and I hope this is the recipe you guys were talking about. And like I said, if it wasn't the recipe you guys were talking about, let me know, and then I can modify it, or if something needs to be added to it, let me know. But this is what we have for today, and once this comes out the pressure canner, I will be back. So there you have it, our 7 pints of tomato and okra soup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That pint back there is salsa. But our 7 pints of okra soup, and I just took them out the pressure canner. As you can see, they are still bubbling. I wish one would pop for us on camera, but that never really happens when you want it to. It does it when it wants. We're not going to rush it. But there you can kind of see the okra, and it does look like the tomatoes separated from the broth. Now once they have sealed and they've set out for 24 hours, you can give them a light shake, and that will mix the contents back together, so you'll be good after that. But there you go.
Thank you for watching TT's Urban Pantry. If you enjoyed this content or was able to learn anything from it, please hit like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified when new videos are uploaded. And as always, have a wonderful and blessed day.